a massive victory in the election. They secured a supermajority, which means they won more than 2/3 of all the seats in Japan's parliament. This had not happened for a single party since World War II. It gave Prime Minister Takaichi a lot of power to change Japan's future. The country was in a difficult situation. Japan's economy was struggling. Prices for everyday things were rising, but people's wages were not. This made life hard for many families. Outside Japan, there were big worries too. China was showing more power in the region, which made many people nervous. And Japan's important friend, the United States, led by President Donald Trump, was asking Japan to take on more duties for its own defense. These were very big problems, making the election results even more critical for Japan's future. What made Takaichi's victory even more amazing was her historic gamble. She had become prime minister only 3 months before this election, but she bravely decided to dissolve the parliament and ask the people to vote again. Many thought this was a huge risk, even within her own party. She promised to resign if her party did not win a majority this time.
Why would a new leader risk everything so quickly after just getting power? This question made many people wonder about her true plan. It showed she had a clear but secret strategy. But who is this woman, Sanae Takaichi? How did she get such a powerful position in Japan? She fought against many challenges to take control. The story of how she rose to power is even more surprising than her big election win. It will show everyone her strong ambition and what she truly wants to achieve for Japan. 2. A new leader. Sanae Takaichi's path to becoming Japan's first female prime minister was surprising and different. She did not come from a rich or powerful family. She was born in 1961 in Nara Prefecture. Her father worked for a car company and her mother was a police officer. This was a middle-class home. When Sanae finished high school, she wanted to go to a good university in Tokyo. But her parents had traditional ideas. They would not pay for her education away from home. They thought it was not needed for a daughter. But Sanae was very determined. She did not give up. She traveled 6 hours every day to attend Kobe University. She worked part-time to pay for her studies. During this time, she also played drums in a heavy metal band, showing her unique spirit. After university, Sanae worked in television for a while. In 1993, she entered politics as an independent. Later, she joined the LDP party.
Shinzo Abe, who became Japan's longest-serving prime minister, saw her potential. He became her important mentor. Under his guidance, Sanae grew strong in politics. She was known for her firm ideas and strong will. People started calling her Japan's Iron Lady. This name came from Margaret Thatcher, Britain's first female prime minister, who was Sanae's role model. Sanae believed strongly in conservative ideas for Japan. She thought the country needed to be strong at home and in the world. Her economic plans were called Sanaenomics. These plans aimed to make Japan's economy grow by investing a lot of money in new technologies like artificial intelligence and defense. Her ideas were very bold for Japan, promising a big change for the country's future. However, her path to power was not easy. At this time, her party, the LDP, faced a huge problem. A massive corruption scandal was shaking the party. Many senior politicians were caught in secret money deals. This made the party weak and unpopular with the public. To become leader and fix Japan, Sanae knew she had to take a very extreme step. She would have to do something no one expected to win power. 3. A big risk. When Sanae Takaichi became prime minister, her party was in great trouble. The ruling LDP party was facing a big money scandal. Many politicians had taken secret funds. This made the people of Japan very angry. The LDP's popularity was at a very low point.
Its old partner, Komeito, decided to leave the government. They had worked together for many years. Komeito's departure made the government very weak. Takaichi's new coalition only had a one-seat majority in the parliament. This meant it was very hard to pass laws or lead the country. She knew that trying to govern from such a weak position would be very difficult. She had to make a bold decision. Instead of trying to continue with such a small majority, Takaichi decided to take a huge risk. She announced a snap election, meaning people would vote again very soon. She had been prime minister for less than 3 months. Many people were surprised. This was a big gamble with her whole political future. Takaichi told the country that she would resign if her party did not win a clear majority in this new election. Her career was on the line. Her party was also still dealing with the scandal, but Takaichi launched a strong campaign. She wanted to force Japanese voters to choose clearly between 2 very different futures for their nation. The big fight. Sanae Takaichi's election campaign focused on 2 big challenges for Japan. The first challenge was the economy. Many people felt the problem of inflation as prices for everyday goods like rice kept going up. At the same time, real wages for workers were falling. Families felt this money squeeze every day. Takaichi offered her plan called Sanaeonomics to fix these problems. This plan promised to cut taxes, especially on food, for 2 years to give families quick help. It also called for huge government investment in new technologies. These included artificial intelligence, semiconductors, and space exploration. She believed this would create many new jobs and help Japan's economy grow strong again. However, not everyone agreed. Japan already had the highest government debt among developed countries. Critics warned that more spending and tax cuts could make the country bankrupt. Financial experts were worried about Japan's future. The second main part of her campaign was about Japan's defense and foreign policy. Takaichi took a very strong stance towards China, especially concerning Taiwan. She stated that if China used its navy to block Taiwan, it would be a survival-threatening situation for Japan. This was a very bold statement, different from past Japanese leaders. It meant Japan might use its military to help. She promised to make Japan's army much stronger by nearly doubling defense spending to 2% of the country's economic output. She also aimed to revise Japan's pacifist constitution, specifically Article 9, to clearly recognize the self-defense forces. China reacted with great anger. Beijing tried to pressure Japan by stopping flights and banning seafood imports. But Takaichi, known as Japan's Iron Lady, showed her strong will and refused to back down from Beijing's pressure. Takaichi was making very big and often polarizing promises. Many people supported her, seeing her as a strong leader, but others feared her bold and risky plans. As her campaign gained more support, her political enemies began to unite against her. They formed a new, powerful group called the Centrist Reform Alliance. This alliance brought together the Constitutional Democratic Party of Japan, the largest opposition party, and Komito, a party that had recently left Takaichi's ruling coalition. These parties had different ideas, but they came together with one clear goal: to stop Sanae Takaichi from gaining more power. The question now was, could this newly united opposition finally defeat the powerful Liberal Democratic Party and its determined leader, Sanae Takaichi? 5. A weak enemy. The political parties opposing Sanae Takaichi made many mistakes. These errors helped her win the election easily. One big mistake was a quick merger of two parties. The center-left Constitutional Democratic Party, or CDP, and the centrist Komito Party joined together at the last moment. They formed a new group called the Centrist Reform Alliance. This happened just a few weeks before the election. This joining of different parties was done out of necessity, not shared ideas. The CDP and Komito had very different beliefs. For example, the CDP had to change its mind on some key issues. It stopped strongly opposing Japan's security laws and nuclear power. These changes made the new alliance's message unclear. It was hard for voters to understand what the Centrist Reform Alliance stood for. Many people saw the new name, Centrist Reform Alliance, as boring. Critics said it meant the party was just middle of the road and lacked strong ideas. Their campaign did not have a clear vision for Japan's future. On important issues like the economy, their ideas were often similar to Takaichi's. This made it difficult for voters to see a real difference or a better choice. On national security, the alliance also struggled. They offered a more careful approach than Takaichi. However, their plans were not very different from the current government's stated goals. They could not give voters a strong new plan for Japan's defense. This weakness on key issues meant they failed to excite or convince many people. The other smaller opposition parties also had trouble. They did not join this new alliance and ran their own campaigns. This split the opposition vote even more. With no clear leader or strong alternative, the path was open for Takaichi's victory. While Takaichi's enemies at home were weak and divided, leaders around the world were watching closely. The results of this election would soon cause big changes from the United States to China. 6. The world watches. News of Sanae Takaichi's big election win quickly spread across the globe. Leaders everywhere watched closely to see what this meant for their own countries. U.S. President Donald Trump was very happy about her victory. Days before the vote, he posted on Truth Social saying Takaichi was a strong, powerful, and wise leader. This was unusual for a U.S. president to do during another country's election. After her landslide victory, Trump again shared his congratulations. He called her win a huge success. He even planned to welcome Takaichi to the White House very soon. This showed a strong new alliance was forming between the U.S. and Japan. Trump believed Takaichi would help Japan do more for defense and be tougher on China. This was something the United States had wanted for a long time. China, however, was very angry with the news. Beijing had tried to stop Takaichi's rise before the election. They used economic punishment against Japan. China stopped some flights, banned seafood imports, and warned its citizens not to travel to Japan. They even sent back Japan's last two pandas as a sign of their anger. A Chinese official even asked Takaichi to take back her strong words about Taiwan. But these actions did not make Takaichi weaker. Instead, they made her look like a leader who could stand strong against pressure. China's efforts failed to stop her. Taiwanese President Lai Ching-te quickly sent his good wishes to Takaichi. He posted online, hoping for a more prosperous and secure future for Japan and its partners. Taiwan felt a sense of relief.
Takaichi had said that if China blocked Taiwan, Japan might step in to help. This promise gave Taiwan hope. It meant Taiwan might not be alone if China tried to take it by force. For Taiwan, having Japan as a strong ally was very important. Not all countries reacted so positively. South Korea watched the election results with more worry. They remembered old problems in history with Japan. Takaichi's strong nationalistic ideas and past actions made some people in Seoul nervous. While both countries shared concerns about China and North Korea, South Korea worried about Japan changing its peaceful ways. Other European leaders also had mixed feelings about Takaichi's win. Some welcomed the stability, but others were cautious about her firm views. The world reacted to Takaichi's huge win. But the biggest question remained: how did she actually win by such a large amount? The answer was a secret weapon that Japan's political leaders never saw coming. 7. How she won. The big victory for Sanae Takaichi was a surprise to many. People called her popularity Sanamania. Her greatest secret weapon was the support of young voters. She got an amazing 80 to 90% of votes from people under 30. This was new and unusual. Young people in Japan usually do not care much about politics, but Takaichi was different. She used social media very well. She had millions of followers on platforms like X, YouTube, and Instagram. Young people liked her authentic image.
She showed parts of her life that were not typical for a politician. She played drums in a heavy metal band when she was younger. She was seen riding motorcycles. Even small things, like the pink pen she used, became very popular. Her famous saying, "Work, work, 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 and work," showed her strong dedication. These things made her seem real and relatable to many voters. As Japan's first female prime minister, her win was historic. But her views on women's equality were conservative. For example, she did not agree with married couples using separate surnames. She also did not support same-sex marriage. When she formed her government, she put only 2 women in important jobs. Many people who wanted more equality for women felt a little let down. Some thought she had to be very conservative to lead a party of mostly men. Takaichi also won because her opponents were weak. They tried to join forces quickly before the election, but their new party name was dull. Their ideas were not clear or inspiring to voters. They did not offer a strong choice against Takaichi. She was also very smart about when to hold the election. She dissolved parliament only 3 months after becoming prime minister. Her public approval was very high then, about 70%. She took a big risk, but it worked. She used her popularity at the right moment, before any problems could make her less liked. Now, Sanae Takaichi has more power than any Japanese leader in modern history.
But winning the election is one challenge. Governing the country is another. Can she keep her big promises without spending too much money and hurting Japan's economy? Can she make Japan stronger without starting a war with other countries? These are the serious questions that lie ahead for her. 8. What happens next? Sanae Takaichi now holds great power. Her party won a supermajority. This means she has no more excuses. She must now show her big plans for Japan can truly work. One major challenge is the economy. Takaichi promised Sanae. This means cutting taxes and spending much government money on new technologies like AI. Japan already has great national debt. She promised to stop the food consumption tax for 2 years, which will cost billions. Can Japan afford these plans without a fiscal crisis? She must deliver economic relief without making the country bankrupt. Another big task is defense and foreign policy. Takaichi wants to make Japan's military stronger. She plans to increase defense spending to 2% of Japan's economy. She also wants to change Japan's old peace-loving constitution, especially Article 9, which limits the military. She must do this carefully. Japan wants to protect itself, especially with China being very strong near Taiwan. But Takaichi must avoid angering other countries or starting a conflict. She needs to manage relationships with the US, China, and other neighbors wisely.
Her victory marks an important moment for Japan. The country must now decide its future. Will Japan become a stronger, more active nation, ready for big challenges? Or will it stay on a safer, quieter path? Takaichi's actions will show the answer for Japan and the world. Her choices will affect many countries for a long time. The Indo-Pacific region will watch closely. If she succeeds, Japan could become a new, powerful leader for peace and security. If she fails, it could bring many problems for Japan and its neighbors. Her time as Prime Minister will shape the future for decades. Takaichi has a big chance to change Japan, but the path ahead is difficult and risky. Can she lead Japan to a new and better future without causing major financial problems or international conflicts? Or will her big ideas create new troubles for the country and the region? What do you think? Will Takaichi's plans bring Japan a strong future, or will they create more problems?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.